Hi, my name is Richard Ainge. I am the founder and developer of the Touch7 colour system. In this short video, I'm going to demonstrate to you how quickly and easily it is to separate images using neon toner. So for those of you that are familiar with Touch7 already, we have a colour system for the Brico press. This is Touch7 Neon. Now the neon will create the bright vibrant neon colours, but also a range of more subtle pastel shades of colours. So it's a full system chromatically ordered through the colour guides. There's two for the yellow and there's also two for the pink. So the first set of colour guides is what we call the overprint guide. So it takes the neon tone and prints it on top of the existing colour. And then the SCR guide, which stands for source colour removal, is where it takes the toner colour. So for example, if we're using a pink, it will remove the magenta from the colour to be replaced by the pink. So two different sets of guides for each colour. And that's great for when you're working with vector graphics, but when you're working in Photoshop, you need an algorithm to separate the images for you. And this is where the complexity comes in, is that how do you separate images for neon? So this video is going to demonstrate how to do that, so let's jump right in there. Now all the images that we've got here, they're from stock libraries that we've downloaded. We've downloaded these from FreePic. You can download free images from them, but we've got a paid subscription, so we've got some of the higher quality images. But there are no masks, no paths, no alpha channels, no layers. It's just a standard RGB image. So normally the person that's going to work on these files has to do a mask and cut out. So if you can imagine trying to cut out everything, especially when you start looking at around, soft edging around the outside of contrasting colors like this garment versus the background. Also how it fades off against the white as well. And also, you do have pink in other areas. You've got pink inside the glasses here, also the pink in the lips. So it would take time. Now the thing with fifth color printing is that you've gone from 4 colors already. So for example, on a digital device, it was been traditionally printing CMYK. Now we're introducing these fifth colors, and because of fifth color, it's an extra charge. So you've got to convince your customer that going from 4 color to fifth color is worth it. But if they're paying extra for that ink, and they're going to have to pay extra for the pre-press time or separation time that you're going to spend on each image. And it might take you half an hour per image, maybe longer. So who's going to pay that? You soon start outpricing yourself on fifth color work. So Touch7 will speed this all up for you. So let's jump right into it. Press the pink button to generate a pink separation. Now let's go onto our channel so you can see. So we've got a neon pink separation here. Let's have a look at that in color, so we can see it a little bit easier. Turn on our preview for color. Okay, so there's our pink separation. Now, as I mentioned before, it's going to pick up some pink pixels in different tonal areas, so you can airbrush things off this as well. And this is where we would recommend using the dodge tool. And this dodge tool has been highly criticized in the past by some Photoshop users. They call themselves experts because they say it's a destructive tool, but if you know what you're doing with it, then it's not that destructive. It's actually a very handy tool to have, especially when working with separations like this. So we're going to set it to highlights, and I'm putting my exposure to 20% and change the brush size to something applicable. What that allows me to do is be able to quite quickly rub over areas, and it will really only affect the highlight areas. So I'm having to push down a couple of times to get some of these colors out, but it's really just a fast way to be able to go in there and just tease out any of that contamination dot that's in there. Because skin tones, although this plugin will do its best to stop putting the pink into the skin tones, you will still get a little bit creeping in, purely because of how there's a pink reflections in the skin tones already. So if you want to edit things, you can do. So all I'm doing here is literally just going in and just doing a little tweak. Okay, so once I've got my design how I want it, that at the moment is printing over the top of the image. Now RGB images don't give you a correct color display when you're working with a spot color. And that's because RGB is an additive color space, and spot colors, like an ink, is a subtractive color space. So it's actually subtracting this as a preview in the image, so it's actually slightly wrong. So if I convert that to CMYK, you'll see what I mean. So that's really what we get. So original image with the Touch7 separation. Now at the moment that's printing on top of the existing image. So it's actually going to increase the saturation and color as an overprint. And that's one way you can work. But if you want to, let's just go back to that original RGB. The other button is called source color removal. And what that says is from this separation that you've created, now subtract it from the image. So it removes the color from the RGB to be replaced by that spot color. So it's like a color replacement tool. So I'm going to press that now, and let's see what happens. Let's just turn off that separation once it's finished. So you can see there in our RGB image, the colour's being removed from that design to be compensated by that spot colour. So if I now turn it to CMYK, we now have a like-for-like image, but done using the pink. Now, because this original image wasn't very bright and fluorescing by nature anyway, we can increase that. So with your selection on your pink channel, open up levels, and these are all standard Photoshop tools, and from the shadow point, just drag it to the start of this histogram here, and that pushes more of that pink into the design. And we always do it from the shadow point, because then the mid-tones and the quarter tones scales proportionately. Okay, so really just about this peak. If you push it too far, you're going to just over flood it a little bit too much, but you know, you can do it that way. But if you're going to do it too much, I would say maybe just tease it back a little bit in the mid-tones, just to open up a little bit. Then when you're happy, click on OK, and that's it. So as you can see, there is no masking required at all. So now that we've got the explanation out of the way, we're going to do a few more images, and let's come back to that one later. Okay, so this image here. This image has lots of different tonal areas. So if you look on the left, first of all, you've got these, I think it's macaroons or something on the side, different shades of pink. You've got different gradations of pink in that board in the background. I'm not quite sure exactly what that is. But then the lady's garments, again, different shading. You've got the pink coming through the eyes. So there's a lot of areas to mask, and even more complexity comes in because you've got hair. So trying to mask in between all these different pixels, it's just a very, very complex job to do. So all we do, pink button, pink SCR, image mode, CMYK. We've got our like-for-like representation. Now we'll do levels, and we'll just push that up. And there you can see we've added more pink into it. If we go again too high, you'll see it starts to fill in, which looks a little bit false. So again, this is like setting the shadow and highlight point. So the darkest point on your image, the most pink point, is solid pink, and everything else is tonal. Okay, save your file, move on to the next one. And again, I'm coming back to that one at the end because it's quite an interesting image. Again, this image, very, very complex. You've got a lot of diffused soft edging going on. So when you're making image masks, anybody that's done masking before will know that soft edging around colours like that is just an absolute nightmare. Then you've got all the pink tones in the reflections of things. You've got the pink flowers, you've got this wrap that this lady's wearing, which is all feathery. You know, how to do all your soft edge masking around that. And then there's a little bit of pink coming into the dress here. It's just very complex to do a mask. So I would say, if you're lucky, masking on that to get a good, accurate mask might be an hour's work. So all we do, pink button, pink SCR, image mode, CMYK. And then if we want to, we can then boost that up with our levels. Now, a quick way to do it without doing your levels is to use auto tone. I prefer to do it manually so I have more control, but auto tone would basically do the same thing. And that's it, save your file. So as you can see here, we've got colour being replaced. Okay, and again, I'm going to keep coming back to that one. Now, this image I chose purposely because this is a very, very beautiful looking image, but it's also very, very complex. Again, you've got all that fine detailing around the hair. You've got all this makeup around the eyes, the shadows, you know, this sort of like flush underneath the eyes. It's just a very complex image to separate. So again, show the power of Touch7, pink. Now let's just do that as an overprint first of all. Let's just turn it to CMYK, because I keep saying, you know, you can use it as an overprint. So we had our original image and put in pink on the top. So that's one way to work. Or we're going to do the pink SCR, image mode, CMYK. So we've got that like-for-like representation. So there's the original image with some colour removed, then with the pink. And again, on this one, if we just push that up using our levels, we can now add more pink into that hair. So a really, really fast, creative way. And the power of Touch7 is basically to free up your work. If you can put more work through your computer, get more jobs onto the press, you're going to be more profitable as a company. Now again, very complex image to go on this one. Lots of masking to do around all those pink stars, but also you've got pink in the leggings on this here. You've got this kind of peachy pink colour in the background, and trying to mask again around hair and everything is just, it's not fun. So again, pink SCR, image mode, CMYK. Now people have said, why don't you just fully automate it and remove the SCR? And that's because, you know, it's an additional tool. You know, you've got the freedom to be able to do it, you know, as a like-for-like representation of the image, or to enhance it. Now we can't choose what you want to do. So this is why we leave this step as a two-step process. So there we go. Colour removed, hot pink being printed in place. So the final image I've chosen for a reason. So I'm going to duplicate this image. And I'm going to call it How Not to Do It. And on this How Not to Do It image, we're going to do it as what a few support questions have come in. We've had a few, shall we say, delicately put this, we've had a few issues where customers have said, why should I bother paying for Touch7? I can just do it myself. I'm just going to copy the magenta channel and print that on top of the image, and that will enhance the pink pixels. It's like, well, it doesn't work like that, and I'm going to demonstrate why. So if we convert this to CMYK, and we take the pink channel, and we now make a new spot channel, and we put the pink in there. That's what happens to your image. Okay, so that doesn't look anywhere near close to the customer's original. So you're going to have to go in there and start taking colour out of the image. But where do you remove that colour from? Because you've got magenta in the grey balance in the background, magenta's in this brown woodwork, magenta's in the shadows, magenta's even in this green colour, it's in the blues, it's in literally every colour in this image. So the only thing you can do is start removing the colours. So how do you remove the colour from this colour separation? And again, this is why Touch7 is a very quick process to do it. We work on a mathematical formulation that does all the calculations in seconds. No masking required. So again, pink SCR, image mode, CMYK, and then I'm just going to set my levels. And that's it, within seconds. So you have a choice. You can either do it yourself and basically end up with an image that looks like that, or you can do it automated in seconds. So the idea is free up your creativity. This should do the separations for you. Now you can do things above and beyond what we're doing here. For example, if you had an orange image, you can use the pink channel inside an orange, but there's videos that will show you how to do that. What we're doing here is just to show you the power and the speed of Touch7. Okay, final colour I just want to mention is the neon yellow. If you do an image with neon yellow in it, then we recommend leaving the neon yellow as an overprinting separation. That is, don't use the SCR unless you really want to. And that's because the neon yellow is it's like a very pale yellow. So on its own, it looks quite weak and quite translucent. But when used as an overprint on top of yellow, it actually makes that yellow look really nice. It looks beautiful. So again, it's a creative tool. Okay. Any questions or concerns, please do contact us at support@touch7.co. Thanks, have a great day.